Welcome back to Weird Stuff in a Can. Today on Weird Stuff in a Can, Bonnet Bellflower root in spicy sauce. So this is a can of Korean Bonnet Bellflower root in a spicy sauce. It's something that's been in my cupboard for ages, so I can't remember how much I paid for this, or indeed where I bought it. Probably in a nation supermarket somewhere. Let's have a look at the ingredients. There's a sticker on here over-labelling the ingredients, which is translated into English, French and German. Anyway, ingredients: salted Codonopsis lanceolata, water, polyglycitol syrup, red pepper paste, soya and wheat, sugar, garlic, red pepper powder, vegetable seasoning, acidity regulator E574, salt, thickening agent E1401, roasting sesame, I think that means roasted sesame, colours E160C. So, I think what we might do is just see if that comes off. Yeah, I think it's going to come off cleanly. And then I can get a picture of this tin without the over-labelling. This product is from Korea. I can't read Korean, so I may have to rely on a machine translation for that. I think that's upside down. Yeah. There you go. That's how badly I can't read Korean. I couldn't even tell if I had that the right way up at a glance. Okay. Nothing on there I can read. I assume this product is made in Korea. It doesn't say anything about that, and all it says is about the company that imported it and relabeled it, which is in Surrey. So Bonnet Bellflower is a plant in the Campanula family, and I think it's a vine that has kind of bell-shaped flowers on it. I'll see if I can find a photograph to show you. And the root is eaten as a side dish, I believe. I think it says here, one of these pieces of text is like your mother's side dish, which, when I say it like that, sounds like an insult almost, doesn't it? Anyway, let's open it up and have a look. It is a pull tab can, and I am going to try to use a can opener on it because that's what I prefer to do. Ill-advised as that might seem, I do prefer to open cans with my can opener. And that seems to be working just fine. Part of the reason for that is I like to save these square cans because they're useful for storing things, but actually we've kind of wrecked the can here a little bit anyway. So there we go. That is the Bonnet Bellflower root in spicy sauce. Let's have a sniff. Yeah, all I can really smell is garlic and chilli in there at the moment. So that's what it looks like. Now, I understand this is not eaten as a main dish, it's eaten as a kind of side dish. So what I will be trying to do, I think, is I'll try and make something a little bit Korean style to eat this alongside. Anyway, let's have a close-up look of what that actually looks like. There you go. As is my habit, I am going to try a bit of this straight out the can. I don't think it's meant to be heated up. I think it's actually just meant to be served as a side dish directly like that. So let's see if it's quite fibrous. So I just thought that'd be interesting to try and cut that and see what it's like. There it is. Let's give it a taste. Nice and spicy, sweet, savoury, salty. Texture's kind of quite difficult to describe, really. It's quite soft, but it's also a little bit fibrous, but not in a bad way. Let's go on a little journey to try to describe that texture. So I would say the texture is like sweet potato, if you kind of had sweet potato with the fibrousness of pineapple. None of the flavours are like that, but that's the texture. It's like soft like sweet potato, fibrous like pineapple. Kind of crisp, but also very soft. Really tasty. So flavour, once we get underneath the chilli and garlic, is kind of earthy and sweet and quite interesting. There's a slightly kind of medicinal bitterness to it. Anyway, so that's what it's like straight out of the can. I think we now need to head to the kitchen and make a dish to serve this alongside. I think I'm going to try to make something in the vicinity of bibimbap. The reason I say in the vicinity of is there's no chance of this being authentic. I'm just going to make some rice and stir-fried vegetables and pickles and stuff in sauce using some of the right ingredients, but also using whatever is available to me locally here. So this is not going to be authentic bibimbap. This is going to be something in the vicinity of. So bear with me while I get everything ready. I'm going to have stir-fried vegetables over some rice with some of my homemade lacto-fermented pickle, with marinated beef, which I sliced and marinated earlier. This is beef skirt, which I've cut into very, very thin pieces and marinated in some Korean barbecue sauce with chili and garlic overnight in the fridge. I've got gochujang, which I'm going to mix with some vinegar and soy and sugar and garlic to make a different sauce. And then we're just going to cook all these things in various different sauces and assemble it into a dish. That's the plan. So that's most of the prep done. I've just got to make those sauces. So the first sauce is going to have garlic, some gochujang, little splash of vinegar. I don't have rice vinegar or anything authentic, so I'm going to use a bit of apple cider vinegar and a bit of sugar. Let's see what that looks like. I wonder if we might need more of that. Anyway, second sauce is going to be some dark soy, a bit of honey, and this is not authentic at all. I've got some chutney here, some kind of English cheese board chutney, but that will give a bit of acidity, a little bit of spice. So 2 sauces. I may need to make more of this red one, I think. We'll see. I am making 1 bowl of food here, and let's not forget we've got this sauce that the bellflower root is sitting in. Over here at the cooker I've got my cast iron pan coming up nice and hot, and that marinated beef is going to go in there. Now that is going to boil a little bit first because that marinade was wet, so I'm just going to cook that and spread it out and just cook that beef until it starts to sizzle again. Okay, beef is now sizzling, not boiling. I'm going to move it to one side, a little bit more oil over this side, and the mushrooms. I'm going to try and keep those separate, but I don't want to use too many pans. Right, beef is looking pretty good. Let's have a little taste of that actually. It's nice, even though that's not what you would call a tender cut of beef. Cutting it transverse on the grain like that makes it cook really tender. So a little bit of my sauce number 2 on the mushrooms. And I'm just going to take that off the heat and let that cook in the residual heat from the pan. Meanwhile, I've got my kind of big stir-fry pan, non-stick, over here. So we'll have onions in there, and we'll have the carrots and peppers as well, because those take a little bit longer. And the chilli. Bean sprouts will go in just a moment. Now that's sizzling, in with the bean sprouts. And then the mange tout. And we'll kind of know when we're done because the mange tout will go from pale green to a kind of slightly deeper green. Yep, we're not far off now. And so now, some of my sauce is going to go on this lot. A little bit of a splash of water. Now all of this would make more sense if I was cooking it for a larger group, because I'm using lots of pans here. Well, I'm using several pans here to get this cooked. Anyway, that's my stir-fried veg. Okay, and then the final element, which is going to be sunny side up fried egg, which I think maybe isn't the freshest of eggs because the white is really spread out. Anyway, I think traditionally this would be garnished with sesame seeds. I don't have any of those. I'm going to use smashed up peanuts. So, honey roasted peanuts. Nice. Which I will just fold up in this piece of plastic. Okay, and there we go, smashed peanuts. Right, let's put this all together. Lovely steaming hot rice, stir-fried vegetables, some of their sauce, marinated beef, and mushrooms, and some of my homemade lacto-fermented pickles in lieu of kimchi. Kimchi would be kind of more traditional, I think, on a dish like this, but this is what I've got. Similar idea to kimchi, just slightly different implementation. A rather wonky sunny side up egg on top. Some of the garnish. Alright then, well there it is. Like I say, not going to be authentic. Probably looks like a horrific abomination. Let me know in the comments. Rate my pseudo bibimbap. Let's get this to the table and give it a taste. Okay, well I got so carried away with making this, I nearly forgot about the reason we're here, which is this bellflower root. Anyway, a little bit of seasoning. And now I understand that some people just like to completely mix everything up here after having it all prepared and carefully presented. A lot of people actually just like to kind of dig in and mix it all up into a big old mess. Not sure I'm actually going to do that, but I will try and get a bit of various different things. Here we go. That's really good. I did put a bit more of that sauce on there, by the way. I don't know how close I got here to the authentic article. Do let me know. I hope you're not offended if I've butchered a cherished national dish here. Regardless of how close I got, that is damn tasty. So, side dish is on the side. Oh, and that works really well. That's a real surprise. There's something about the contrast between these flavours. This is really refreshing now. I'm all for that. Now, I was going to just pour a bunch of this sauce from the can over the rice. I actually think it might be better as a contrast. It works. So I don't know if I'm doing this right, or if indeed this would normally be a side dish for this, but it's really good. So final kind of studio thoughts as I sit down to edit the video you're now watching and reflect on that meal I've just eaten. This was really surprising because tasting it out of the can, it was a root vegetable. It had an earthy flavour. It was a little bit sweet. It had a very faint and slightly unusual aroma that was a bit kind of medicinal maybe. Tasting it that way was, I don't know, not a disappointment, but was not a surprise. Tasting it as a side dish alongside my pseudo bibimbap was a completely different experience. There's something about the contrast between all of those robust flavours that were going on in that main course, contrasted against the really delicate and fragrant flavour of this root, was just a complete surprise. It really brought out the elusive and delicate fragrance and flavours of this vegetable. I still can't quite find the words to describe what this tastes like, but I will say it's well worth trying if you get the chance. So there we go, that was Bonnet Bellflower root. Weird stuff in a can on atomic shrimp. I hope you enjoyed that, I certainly did. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.